What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sports Geek. I'm your host, Errol. What's up, everybody? Had to jump on here tonight. I can't say I'll be 100% honest with you. I have not watched any of the World Baseball Classics. I just pay attention to the scores every night, what transpires between the games and the teams. And last night I was very interested in that game. However, we lost. Team USA lost. And henceforth, we've got the World Baseball Classic blues. Nothing against Team Venezuela. Congrats to them. But, I'm watching that game last night, right? And over and over again, I kept thinking about a team, my favorite team, that I love and adore so much as a fan, that I was just watching the Yankees. Whether it's the Yankees from 2000 and, I don't know, 10, 12, 13, 14, all the way up to present, that they've always had an issue scoring runs, right? Usually when the offense, there's a saying, they say the offense runs through Aaron Judge. And I've always been a proponent of them getting him some support to where there's somebody else or maybe two other people in the lineup that can either be in front of him and be behind him. That way, it's productive. Anyway, my point is, the whole segment, this whole show tonight is to basically pinpoint why the Yankees will not spend any money in the offseason. Or, let me stop. They won't be like the Dodgers or the Mets. They just won't. They'll spend money, but they won't be like those two teams. And here's why. Last night we saw a Team USA, that has current MVPs, ex-MVPs, all-stars, and they couldn't hit. They hit late in the game, but just couldn't get anything across people that were throwing 92, 93 miles an hour, right? It's sad, but it happens. And I think analytics will show you that you can have a team full of all-stars, MVPs. They don't win jack shit. Because baseball is a weird sport. Everybody's got to be hot at the right time. And the teams that are hot usually win the big games, whether it's during the season or in the playoffs or in the World Series. It's whoever's hot. And the Yankees know this. Why? Take a look at this. So I'm going back from 1995 to 2004. Who were the World Series winners? The Atlanta Braves won. They defeated Cleveland Indians, which are now the Guardians, 4-2, 1995. 1996, the Yankees defeated the Atlanta Braves 4-2, 4 games to 2. 1997, the Florida Marlins defeated the Cleveland Indians 4 games to 3. 1998, the New York Yankees defeated the San Diego Padres 4 games to none. In 1999, the New York Yankees defeated the Atlanta Braves again 4 games to none. In 2000, the New York Yankees defeated the New York Mets 4 games to 1. 2001, Arizona Diamondbacks defeated the New York Yankees 4 games to 3. In 2002, Anaheim Angels defeated San Francisco 4 games to 3. In 2003, the Florida Marlins defeated the New York Yankees 4 games to 2. And obviously, Boston defeated the St. Louis Cardinals in 2004, beat us in the championship series to advance, to beat the Cardinals 4 games to nothing. So you can see a pattern here. Now, let's look at who was on the 99-6 team. Let's look at the roster. Brian Boehringer, Ricky Bones, Billy Brewer, David Cohn, Paul Gibson, Dwight Gooden. David Cohn, Dwight Gooden, excellent pitcher. Steve Howe, Mark Hutton, Scott Kamieniecki, Jimmy Key, great pitcher. Graham Lloyd, Jim Messier, Ramiro Mendoza, great reliever. Jeff Nelson, Dave Palas, Andy Pettitte, great pitcher. Dale Polley, Mario Rivera, greatest closer in the history of baseball. Kenny Rogers, David Weathers, Ryan Weathers' dad. John Wetland, closer. Wally Whitehurst, Bob Wickman. Catchers, Joe Girardi, Jim Leyritz, Jorge Posada. Infielders, Wade Boggs, Mariano Duncan, Roberto Enhorn, Andy Fox, I think they played second base, Charlie Hayes, Matt Howard, Derek Jeter, Pat Kelly, Tino Martinez, Luis Sojo. Outfielders: Mike Eldreddy, Deion James, Paul O'Neill, Tim Raines, Ruben Rivera, Darryl Strawberry, Brittany Williams, Gerald Williams. Outfield looks kind of crazy now I'm thinking about it. Other positions: Cecil Fielder, Matt Luke, Ruben Sierra. That was the roster. Now, I can definitely see there's a few all-stars on there. Quite a few. Tino Martinez, Wade Boggs, all-time hits right there. Bernie Williams, Darryl Strawberry, Paul O'Neill, right? There's some guys on there. Okay, let's go to 98. Pitchers: Willie Banks, Ryan Bradley, Mike Buddy, David Cone, Orlando Hernandez, Hideki Irabu, Graham Lloyd, Ramiro Mendoza, Jeff Nelson, Andy Pettit, Mariano Rivera, Mike Stanton, Jay Tasmir, David Wells. Catchers: Mike Figa, Joe Girardi, Jorge Posada. Infielders: Scott Brocious, Homer Bush, Derek Jeter, Chuck Knobloch, Mike Lowell, Tino Martinez, Luis Soto, Del Svem. Outfielders: Chad Curtis, Ricky Ledee, Paul O'Neill, Shane Spencer, Bernie Williams. Outfielders really took a dive there. Other positions: Chili Davis, Tim Raines, Darryl Strawberry. So you can see, once again, some all-stars, nothing kind of crazy, some good pitching, right? That's 98. Let's go back let's look at 99. Mike Buddy, Roger Clemens, great pitcher, David Cone, Tony Fossis, Todd Edros, Jason Grimsley, Orlando Hernandez, Hideki Irabu, Jeff Juden, Ramiro Mendoza, Dan Nolte, Jeff Nelson, Andy Pettit, Mariano Rivera, Alan Watson, Ed Yarnall, Mike Stanton. Catchers: Mike Figa, Joe Girardi, Jorge Posada. Infielders: Clay Bellinger, Scott Brocious, Derek Jeter, D'Angelo Jimenez, Chuck Knobloch, Tino Martinez, Luis Soto, Alfonso Soriano. Outfielders: Chad Curtis, Ricky Ledee, Paul O'Neill, Shane Spencer, Tony Tarasco, Bernie Williams, Chili Davis, Darryl Strawberry, Jim Leyritz. Are you getting my point here? They didn't really have crazy amounts of talent. They had talent and they performed with the talent they had. Same thing for the 2000 team, right? Roger Clemens, David Cone, Dwight Gooden, Orlando Hernandez, Ted Lilly, Ramiro Mendoza, Jeff Nelson, Denny Nagel, Andy Pettit, Mario Rivera, Mike Stanton, Jake Westbrook, Jorge Posada, Chris Turner for catchers, Scott Brocious, Wilson Nagata, Derek Jeter, Chuck Knobloch, Tino Martinez, Luis Soto. You can see the consistency in the infield. So with Derek Jeter, there's people Tino Martinez, outfielders: Clay Bellinger, David Justice, Roberto Kelly, Ricky Ledee, Paul O'Neill, Luis Polonia, Bernie Williams, Ryan Thompson, Shane Spencer. Other positions: Jose Canseco, Jim Leyritz. Nothing crazy. They got beat by Boston. Let me see. Pretty much same lineup. Pitching changes, though. Kevin Brown, Jose Contreras. Pitching was terrible. Javier Vasquez. This is why we lost. I think Andy Pettit might have left and gone to the Rangers or Houston. He went somewhere in Texas. I think he and Clemens were gone. So our starting rotation's crap. John Flaherty, Gianno Navarro, Jorge Posada for catching. Infielders: Homer Bush, Tony Clark, Felix Escalona, Jason Giambi, Derek Jeter, Travis Lee, John Olerud, Andy Phillips, Alex Rodriguez, Enrique Nelson. Outfielders: Kenny Lofton, Bubba Crosby, Hideki Matsui, Bernie Williams, Gary Sheffield, Ruben Sierra. So you can see definitely they didn't have the pitching. And then in 2009, Brian Bruni, AJ Burnett, Joba Chamberlain, Phil Koch, Mike Dunn, Chad Gooden, Phil Hughes, Ian Kennedy, Mark Melanson, DeMosco, Andy Pettit. Andy Pettit came back. Mariano Rivera, Dave Robertson, CC Sabathia, Brett Tomko, Chen Ming Wang. He was good until he got injured. Kevin Cash, Francisco Cervelli, Jose Molina, Jorge Posada. Infielders: Angel Moreau, Robinson Cano, Derek Jeter, Juan Miranda, Ramiro Pena, Cody Ransom, Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira. This team looks a little bit more structured. Melky Herrera for outfielders: Johnny Damon, Shirley Duncan, Brett Gardner, Freddie Guzman, Eric Hinsky, Xavier Nady, Nick Swisher, Hideki Matsui. So you can see, I won't go into 2001, 2003, but you can see that they weren't crazy. I think what my point is, the Yankees ownership, front office, know that they could spend a ton of money on talent and it's still up to the player to perform. That's why they'll never be the Dodgers. They'll never be the Mets. Ain't going to happen. You just saw it last night, proof in the pudding. You saw that basically you had a talent, Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge, Alex Bregman. Bro, they were all quiet last night. Bryce Harper came through, had 2 hits yesterday. But yes, that team looked devastating just on paper. Didn't perform. So that was my analogy. That's all I wanted to come on here and say tonight. It sucks that they lost, but you can see why certain teams and ownership know that you can put the best paper, get the best All-Stars, get the best MVPs, and if they don't perform in big games, you don't get dick. That's it. That's it. That's all I got, man. That's it. Anyway, my name is Errol. Thank you for watching Sports Geek. I'm going to put you soon. Just wanted to compare that analogy. I think that's why they'll never spend the way the Dodgers spend, the way the Mets spend. It's just not going to, because at the end of the day, you're paying out that salary. If the players don't perform, you get ugats. Guys, thank you for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. Got cats around me. They're going crazy right now. But yeah, let me know. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Peace out. Have a good night, everybody. See you soon.